Imagine having the choice to become the CEO of a massive company, a high ranking army general, or an incredibly wealthy NRI living in America. Now imagine throwing every single one of those glamorous options away to live in a small town without basic comforts just to help poor dairy farmers. Today we are diving into a deeply moving and inspiring letter written in 2005 by V. Kurien to his grandson Siddharth. Welcome to our next chapter breakdown. Verghese Kurien. I too had a dream. The letter starts with a powerful thought on modern technology. Kurien notes that in our fast paced world, we have become completely addicted to instant communication like telephone calls. But a phone call only gives us immediate, fleeting joy. A letter, however, is entirely different. It becomes a physical possession that can be treasured and reread over the years with deep, abiding pleasure. Kurien is writing these jottings so that decades later, his grandson can truly understand why he chose a life of service. The ultimate career choice. Kurien takes his grandson back to the time right after India became an independent nation. Back then, the absolute noblest task was building an India free from hunger and poverty, where people lived with equal respect. He admits that serving the nation's farmers wasn't the career he had originally envisioned for himself. He actually had some incredibly lucrative options on the table. He could have pursued a career in metallurgy to become the chief executive of a large company. He could have opted for a commission in the Indian Army and eventually retired as a general. He could have left for the US and gone on to become a highly successful NRI. But deep down, he chose none of those. He knew his most meaningful contribution would be working in Anand, Gujarat for a small cooperative of dairy farmers trying to gain control over their own lives. He heavily credits his wife for this success as she ardently supported his choice to live and work there. Even though Anand lacked the simple comforts we take for granted today, redefining integrity and failure. Kurien emphasizes that his massive achievements were only possible because he consistently adhered to core values inherited from his parents and his mentor in Anand, Tribhuvandas Patel. The most important value of all? Integrity. Specifically, personal integrity, which simply means being honest to yourself. If you can be honest with yourself, he explains, it doesn't take much effort to be honest with others. He also completely redefines what it means to fail. To Kurien, failure is not about not succeeding. Rather, failure is simply not putting in your absolute best effort and not contributing, however modestly, to the common good. The secret to happiness and true reward. Kurien drops a massive truth bomb about happiness, explaining that there is actually very little correlation between the circumstances of people's lives and how happy they are. We constantly compare ourselves to people we think are happier, but Kurien warns that we are usually just looking at fake images of perfection. Understanding this helps us cherish what we do have rather than stressing over what we don't have. He then concludes with a brilliant, unforgettable story. In 1999, the President of India awarded Kurien the incredibly prestigious Padma Vibhushan. Young Siddharth innocently slipped the magnificent medal around his neck, looked at it in awe, and asked if he could keep it. Kurien and his wife gave him the ultimate lesson. They told him that while the medal was his, he should not be satisfied with merely keeping someone else's award. The true challenge was for Siddharth to go out into the world and earn his own reward for the work he did in his lifetime. Kurien dedicated these musings not just to his grandson, but to millions of children, hoping to inspire them to work tirelessly for the larger good of humanity. It leaves us with one incredibly powerful final thought. Who says one man cannot make a change?